So, Dare to Lead Differently, Chew on This, 16 Bites for Bold Leaders, is a book that I realized when I was in the military.
Meet Twanda E. Young, a revered leader and a visionary in modern leadership practices.
More self-awareness training for our leaders to be able to be better leaders for our soldiers. So thus, now that I got a little bit more time on my hands, retired, I decided to launch LT3 Leadership Solutions for that purpose.
Recently spotlighted across Las Vegas for her leadership prowess.
The essence that I really like to push is start strong, end stronger, keeping the main thing the main thing.
Author of Dare to Lead Differently, she distills her military and life experiences into 16 powerful bites for bold leaders. Twanda doesn't just speak. She engages, inspires, and transforms her audience. Experience the power of her bold leadership.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Twanda E. Young.
They say half a day in Guam, Tailofa in American Samoa, and aloha in Hawaii. But where I'm from, here in Charlotte, North Carolina, we just say a good old-fashioned good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. We're just so ecstatic to have you with us today. I'm Brigadier General Twanda E. Young, CEO and founder of LT3 Leadership Solutions. And today I get the awesome honor of spending time with you and sharing and pouring into you. I want to share with you today about a method that I developed while I was in the military for over 3 decades. I was blessed to make it at the general officer level, which less than 1% make it to that level, and even lesser percent make it to that level as a female. So to all my ladies on the line, girl power. I am just so happy to be able to take what I have been blessed to learn, the experiences that I've had in the military, and share them with you. The method that we're going to talk about today is the P3 mentality method. Persistence, perseverance, and patience with the process. I teach this as a lecturer at Bowie State University to help my students be able to implement these daily practices into their lives in order to reach their goals. I know it works. I have 33 years to prove that it works. And I want to share it with you today. So grab your pen, grab your paper, grab your iPad, whatever you need to scribble on, because we are going to share and break down the P3 mentality components. We're going to explore some statistics, and then we're going to discuss some lived experiences that I've gone through and some real world experiences of other famous people you may know. I'm going to give you a little insight beyond the veil on how they have used the P3 mentality in order to get their goals met. So, if you're ready to go on a journey, come on with me. Let's go. So what is persistence when we look at it from the perspective of having a P3 mentality? We need to define what this is so we all start on the same playing field. Persistence is the quality of continuing to do something despite the difficulties or delay in achieving success. It's about sticking with the task until you reach your goal. You have to be in it to win it. I know that you have the fortitude to do so, but you have to be persistent in your efforts. Persistence. There's some interesting statistics that says according to a study by the University of Scranton, only 8% of people achieve their New Year's resolution. Look, I know that that statistic is true because I have yet to have kept a New Year's resolution other than not keeping my New Year's resolution. The key differentiator among those who succeed, though, in keeping their New Year's resolution is what? Persistence. Let's think about this from an entrepreneurial persistence mind frame. Researchers by Kauffman Foundation shows that 50% of new businesses fail within the first 5 years. However, those who persist through the initial challenges have at least a 25% higher chance of long-term success. I recall a story when I first came in the military. And when I came in, I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, excited about having the opportunity to see the world and just learn from multiple leaders. Well, the first leader that I met told me that I had no right and that he would make it his business to ensure that I did not make it to the next rank. So, for me, as a young, aspiring leader, I'm thinking in my mind, there is no way that I'm going to succeed now. But I had the fortitude to stand flat-footed and look this man in the eye and tell him, I'll be here when you retire. Now, little did he know that I learned the S word. And no, I'm not talking about shadiggity or some other word you guys are thinking about right now. The word I'm talking about is strategy. I had to learn strategy to get past this obstacle, and I had to be persistent. And how I was persistent in doing this was creating a strategy that gave me good results. I had to survey the land. I had to make sure that I was setting the goals that I wanted to achieve and then getting a plan together to achieve those goals. And my plan in this instance was just to make it and survive this particular leader and make it to the next rank. But check this out. He had to sign for me to make it to the next rank. Well, long story short, everyone, I made it to first lieutenant, and I shook his hand and thanked him for his service. Why was I able to do that? Was because I was persistent in my mindset. Persistent. Another example that I share with you, Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison created the light bulb, as we all know. But here's the thing that many don't know, that it took him thousands and thousands of tries in order to create the light bulb. He had to forge through and be persistent in his efforts, be confident in his ability in order to make it possible for us to have what you see now and what's in your house, the lights on. So have a Thomas Edison mindset. I will be persistent about my goals and I will let no one stop me. But to do that, there's certain takeaways that you have to put in your toolkit to be persistent. And those are: set clear goals. Define what you want to achieve, and then focus like none other on that topic. Hey, nobody likes doing this, but it is a part of growth. We have to embrace failure. Understand that setbacks are stepping stones and a part of the journey, and don't run away or shy away from it. Embrace it. Tell failure to come on, because you have the strength and fortitude to be persistent through it. Learn from it and move forward. And you got to stay motivated. Keeping your mind on your goals and keep reminding yourself why you started. Why is this the goal? What is the goal? Why is it the goal? What are you going to do to obtain that goal? What is the value of that goal? And what are you going to do with the goal when you get it? All of these help you remain persistent in your efforts. Write this down. Set clear goals, embrace failure, and stay motivated. Now that we've established how persistence involving pushing through the challenges to reach our goals, let's unpack perseverance, which builds on this foundation of persistence, but you got to have enthusiasm and motivation along the way in order to force through. And I know you have it. So let's move forward. Now, perseverance. Have you ever just wanted something so bad, but you just did not have the fortitude to persevere through it? You allowed things to deflate you or derail you on what it was you wanted to do. Well, our second principle in the method of P3 mentality is perseverance. So what is perseverance? Perseverance is the steadfastness in doing something despite the difficulty or delay. It's about obtaining the efforts and enthusiasm over a long time. It's kind of like a marathon runner. As we saw with the Olympics that have happened, the marathon runners had to have endurance. All of the athletes have to have an endurance of being able to persevere through the pain and the aches and the letdowns, but keeping their eye on the prize. And that's what I'm telling you. You've got to keep your eye on the prize of what it is you want to obtain. Remember, what is the goal? Why is it the goal? What do you have to do to obtain the goal? What's the value of the goal? And what are you going to do with it once you obtain it? You got to persevere. Statistics share that according to studies published by the Journal of Applied Psychology, individuals who demonstrate perseverance are 50% more likely to achieve long-term success compared to those who do not. Additionally, they shared that students who persevere through academic challenges are 30% more likely to graduate from college. Look, when I went to college, I had, coming from humble beginnings, it was just a blessing that I was in college. But once I got there, I had to learn how to persevere through all of the hardships because I was a first generational student. Everybody behind me, my nieces, and there were 26 of them, that were counting on me to show them what right looks like. And I had to show strength when I didn't even think I had strength. I had to be persistent and I had to persevere in order to obtain the goal that I had set out for not only me, but for others. How many have found themselves in this situation where you have not only been doing it for yourself, but doing it for others? If that's you, type yes in the chat. So what are our takeaways? Our takeaways from persevering are: you got to build resilience. Develop strong mental attitude to help you endure the hardships. You got to figure out what makes you tick, and that is whatever that is that makes you tick. You got to push and keep that at the forefront of your mind to keep you going, whether that's journaling, whether that's whatever it is. For me, what keeps me going forward and pushing to persevere is I know that in the end, I'm going to feel great about myself. I'm going to be able to share my experience with someone else. As my mom always says, you can't have a testimony without a test. And to be able to share how to get through that, like I'm doing today with you, with the P3 mentality, that brings value to my life. That brings hope to my life. that I can help someone persevere and meet their goals. And second, you got to seek support. We can't do this by ourselves. Now, I will tell you, I always thought, I don't need anybody else. I can do this by myself. But we make it harder on ourselves when we have that mindset. We are here to uplift each other. And if you're not serving someone else, then what is the purpose of you being existent on this earth? So seeking support from those who have had the challenges, those who have got the knowledge, had the experiences that can help you persevere through to be successful on the other end. Patience with the process. As I shared, this is the hardest one to do. But without this, you can't have perseverance and you can't have persistence. So what is patience with the process? General, I'm glad you asked. Patience with the process involves accepting that achieving the tasks, achieving the goals, take time and requires you to wait. Wait for the right moment or outcome. I have struggled with this one, but I'm good now. I'm getting much better. I remember when I was a battalion commander. And being a battalion commander, I was one of 22 what you would call in civilian sector VPs. And in that particular boss that I had, my CEO, if you will, didn't particularly care for me. Not that I was not capable of doing the job. I had competed and I was well suited for the job. But let me tell you what happened. This motor scooter, and I say motor scooter because that's what he was to me in that vein. He challenged me on every turn. He belittled me in front of my colleagues. I had to be persistent in making sure I knew how to do my job and knew my craft well. I had to persevere through that to make sure that I could give the resources I needed to my staff to do their job. But I had to have patience because there were times that I wanted to tell him a little piece of my mind. Remember I told you about the S word, strategy? I had to really put in place strategy. And my strategy was patience with the process. That I allowed my work to speak for me. I allowed my other colleagues to speak on my behalf. I treated him with dignity and respect, even though he did not deserve it. And throughout that process, I learned how to be more persistent, how to be more focus-minded on my goals, and how to persevere. And my people who worked under me saw what I was doing, looked at how I was reacting to the situation, and they began to mimic me. That's what your people are going to do. Whether it's your kids, family members that look up to you, they are going to mimic your reactions when you're going through a challenge or attempting to meet your goal. What are you showing them? What are you showcasing? A survey by LinkedIn found that professionals who invest in time of building skills and gaining experience over the long period see 40% higher increase in career advancement and opportunities. This brings to mind Steve Jobs. You know Steve Jobs, right? He developed the iPhone. Well, it wasn't easy for him to do that. At first, when he started designing the iPhone, testing it, refining it, looking for people to accept the product, it took him several years to get to what we are literally, what I'm taping on right now in front of you. Several years to be persistent and persevere and to have patience with the process. But because he did that, you and I buy iPhones. Every time there's a new one that comes out, I'm out there buying it. His patience with the process in the development process of getting to his goal is what I want you to take away. It didn't just happen overnight. It didn't just fall out the sky. He had patience with the process. That leader I told you about, he just didn't go away. He just didn't stop pushing and challenging and egging me on. But once he saw that I did not allow him to change my trajectory of how I dealt with people, he realized that he needed to move on. Because I had learned how to have a P3 mentality, a persistence, perseverance, and patience with the process. So what are the takeaways I want you to write down? Trust the process. Understand that meaningful results require time and effort. Trust that the process will lead you to your desired outcome. Nobody says it was going to be easy, but no one said that you couldn't get there if you kept focus and kept your eye on the prize. Don't compromise. Avoid rushing. Don't compromise your position. It's like playing 3D chess. Be very strategic in your moves. Take your time. Don't rush yourself. Don't compromise quality or effectiveness by trying to be quick about gaining what you think is your goal. And the last I want you to write down is celebrate the small wins, baby. Celebrate the small wins. Every win that you have, when you add them up, becomes a big smorgasbord of big wins. Every night before I go to bed, I tell myself at least 3 wins that I've had that day. What does that do for me? My mind then goes to sleep on positivity. And I commend myself for having the fortitude and the perseverance and the patience and the persistence to get those small wins that are adding up to big wins. I got a big win today. I get an opportunity to talk to you, to help you continue making your mark by implementing a P3 mentality principle method. If you do these steps, if you wrote down the takeaways, you are well on your way to meeting your goals. Back to what is your goal? Why is it your goal? What are you going to do with it when you get it? What's the value of your goal? How are you going to attain the goal? All of these things require a P3 mentality. Well, we've talked about a lot today about having a P3 mentality of persistence, perseverance, and patience with the process. If you take the principles that I've shared with you today and begin to implement them today, you will begin to see a difference in your life, in your professional and personal life. We all have felt frustration, feeling stagnated, feeling that we have setbacks because we can't get to where we want to go in going after our goals and our dreams. And sometimes we just need a coach to come along with us to help mentor, coach, and guide us. And I can do that for you. I want to do that for you. But it requires you to do one thing, and that is to reach out to me. Go to www.lt3leads.com and schedule a consultation with me. Let's look at your unique needs and strategize. Use that S word and strategize to build a plan to ensure that you meet your goals. I know there may be doubt on this shoulder or fear on this shoulder, but I'm going to tell you what to tell fear. I want you to tell fear you're going to turn it on its head by being ferocious in your focus of going after your goals. By being very energetic and very strategic about how you go about planning out your goals. And then you're going to align yourself with someone who can help you reach your goals. And then you're going to be resilient through the process, that patience with the process. You're going to meet your goals. And in doing all of this, you and I together, we're going to help you together make your mark more profound in this world. I look forward to riding with you on the journey. Just give me a call. www.lt3leads.com